Good morning everybody, and this is your DAX setups for today. So as I said yesterday, definitely don't want to be short with a big pin bar like this, and you can see we got going. We've broken through quite a bit of structure, so what we're looking for now, I'm going to put a couple of them in. I think that would cover them, so I'm going to pick up this swing high, and then if you look along here, you can see this swing high here is of fairly significance. So this zone that we've broken through is definitely something we need to pay attention to. However, just above us, I wonder if we should just, let's just do the zone. Okay. So you can see there is a fairly strong zone of resistance. Try to flip it in support, didn't work, but we're heading into this area again. Nothing shaky on the oscillators. Moving averages pointing up. They haven't crossed over yet. So on the 8 hour, this channel does look like it's breaking as well. So from an 8 hour perspective, it's actually looking like there is a fairly decent setup that is brewing to the upside, but it's not. There's no confirmation on it yet. So obviously we need to be cautious with it on the higher time frames. So you need to come back and look at this at the end of today, really, on the 8 hour to see what's brewing. But we're not here for the 8 hour. We're looking to see what profits we can make. So drilling down to the 3 hour, look at the oscillators completely grouped to the upside. That is overbought completely. Testing our 150 EMA, we do have a crossover. But typically you would expect it to pull back and find some structure. We do have a big weekly gap here at a level of support as well. If you look at all these tails here, that is sort of the bottom of that range that was formed last week, and now we're above the range. So you would expect us to come back and test this range or even pull back into the range. So channel, yes, channel is starting to break. There's no two ways about that. But I am not looking to jump in long when the oscillators are like this on the 3 hour, and we are sort of just bumping our head on structure. We've got quite a strong bit of structure ahead of us here, and that's at 18,043 and 18,100. So when we drill down to the hour, have a look at how long we were battling this zone yesterday. So early in the session, a big rejection off, pulled back pretty much into the middle of nowhere. I suppose we could argue that it was that range bar there that we bought off. We'll look at that on the 50-minute. That'll probably be a bit clearer for us. But I would have preferred it to just come back and close the gap and then got going. It would have saved a lot of hassles. But anyway, so from our perspective, trend is definitely to the upside. It's no two ways about that. You should be looking for structure off a level below. Now, what I suspect is going to happen, putting down to 15 minutes, I suspect we're going to continue building this range between 18,043 and 17,965. So I suspect we're going to be ranging here until we get the next catalyst, which is probably going to be earnings more than anything else. We do have a pin bar here in the middle of the zone, so be careful of that. Where is that pin bar? Let's get it there. It is at 17,934. 17,934. There is a pin bar which lines up with a little bit of other structure here. So I would just keep those pin bars in the back of my head, and there's another pin bar here. So in fact, all the pin bars formed yesterday, I just keep them in the back of my head. So 50-minute trend is very strong to the upside. There's no two ways about it. Obviously, if we start dropping below 17,965 and reject that area, you'll probably find us start building a case to come and close the gap. So yeah, you want to go with the trend is up. That's the kind of way I'd be looking at this. But the big question is, are we going to just build a range and then get going? Or are we going to do something different? So if you look at the entry point for yesterday, and so typical when there's a gap, there's always an ambush, and here's your ambush right here. Right off the highest point, basically, at 17,822. So I always take a small position there. That would have been 131 points, just dropping below the swing low. Because it often happens. You can back test it as much as you want. You'll see when you gap up, and you're expecting a lot of traders trade the gap close on the DAX. It's been a strategy for years, but it's working out less and less and less as the ambushes come in, because they know that there's a whole lot of shorts in the market here with trailing stops, with tight stop losses. So the institutions know that, and they just pick a ambush point, and this is the ambush point they picked, and they just climb into the market share, and it just triggers stops and gets the thing moving. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm expecting. I really expect another range through the session, and then probably after hours, depending on what comes out of the US, but probably a similar kind of after hours move of 100 pips. So range during the European session, and then that should bring the oscillators down into something more acceptable or palatable, and then you can look for those opportunities. But yeah, your resistance above you here at 18,100 is definitely something that is going to come into play. So even if you come down to the bottom of the range, you get a pin bar or an inside bar like we did at the close here, you can run a 80 points or so stop loss. You're going to be looking to be below these swing lows here, and you're looking at about 140 points. So less than a 2-to-1 trade, but there is something here. Now, if we do break above this zone that we've got, that would be a complete different scenario. But looking at the oscillators here on the hour, the trend is strong to the upside. It's been like that for 2 days, so I expect it to continue. But probably range first, then break like it did yesterday, and then range and then break. So normally, that pattern will just rinse and repeat for a while we break through the structure. And you look at it on the 3-hour, this is a strong area of resistance that we've broken through. So yeah, lots going on. You prefer a pullback to come and close the gaps and build proper structure, but it doesn't always happen that way. So take what you can get at the moment, and definitely not looking for shorts, that's for sure. Looking for the longs, but the question is where. Either bottom of range here for a move to the top of the range, get out, get another move down, form a higher low, and then another long up until 18,100. That's kind of the only two opportunities I see. Even if we do break below 17,965, I think you'll be held up down here at 17,909. It's going to take a massive bit of negative data or negative results from one of the big stocks to drive this thing down to come and close this gap. So anyway, so gaps off the table for me at the moment, but I suspect range, then probably a break of the range, if not today, definitely tomorrow. But I think the US markets are going to go into a bit of limbo as they wait for the FANG stocks to start releasing their results from tomorrow. Anyway, be careful, tight stop losses, smaller position sizes while you get in, because it's not sure bet trades. You're probably 60% probability from what I can see at the moment. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.